Oh,
Oh, shit!
What the
Is
fuck
fuck
up?
it's up, bruh.
Bruh.
Oh,
It
one
feels
day
so good to be back.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. The time has come.
There's a few elephants here.
Hmm?
Yeah, a few.
Go on. Go on.
One is today is not our usual release day.
Correct.
We're a little bit behind. Things
Yes,
happened.
they do.
Shit happens.
We didn't
But
give
we're
up.
here now.
We're not quitting. we didn't just stop after 5 episodes.
We didn't get discouraged and gave up because we only had 1,000 viewers when we thought we'd have 1 million.
1,000.
Another elephant is there's going to be jingles again tonight.
Yeah.
There's Brick the cat and Lucy the dog in this room.
Lucy.
As we are playing babysitter again. There's another elephant in this room. It is probably been talked about everywhere this week that it possibly could have. There he is.
There.
Translators, gambling, and massive theft.
Massive theft. Yeah.
We'll touch on that a little.
If you're just getting the news from us, where have you been?
If you are just getting the news from us, hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll fill you in.
We'll fill you in.
And I think the fourth and final elephant in the room is tomorrow is fucking opening day. And if you're listening to this, it's probably already opening day.
It's going to be opening day.
Let's go.
Finally.
Oh, man, dude. It has been a long off season.
I'm excited just to watch the first game. I don't care what two teams are playing. I'm literally just going to tune in.
I'm so excited. I have a Kelly Green hat on. Now, it's backwards, so it could be any team. We don't know what team it is I'm wearing. But
I almost put on my one piece of A's gear I still have. It's a nice little quarter zip long sleeve. It's really nice quality.
The gray and green one. You roll the sleeves up. Yeah. I thought you were going to say you have a onesie.
No, I thought about putting it on, but I'm like, no, because tomorrow we have, it's opening day, but it's also the continuance of the boycott and sell the team and everything that's going on in Oakland.
Right.
So we'll dive deeper into that.
There's
in
a
little
fifth
bit too.
elephant in the room. Yes. The boycott. Yes.
Yes.
And yeah. So I thought I'd throw on the Kelly Green just because, and with no affiliation to any team in particular, but I thought that I would throw it on in the baseball spirit because we are back, baby.
Oh, feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to talk about the Ohtani elephant in the room?
Yeah, let's glaze over it.
Yeah, we'll go over it real quick.
At this time of this recording, we went back and forth in the media where he has been, thought as maybe he's a big gambler. His translator, massive theft accused by Ohtani's camp. Ipe came out and he told the team, like, oh, you're going to see something about me in the news. It's not going to be good. And this was after he spoke to ESPN. Stuff comes out. $4.5 million taken out of Ohtani's account to pay off Ipe's gambling debt. That's the story we were told.
Right.
It looks like it's pretty true. That is what it was. $4.5 million out of Ohtani's account. And then Ohtani does the wasn't I don't know if it was pre-recorded. Was it live? But
no
no questions.
It was a live, just no questions. He just read out a statement with his new interpreter.
Right. So we got a new guy in there, and no questions from the media. But basically, Yeah, he took all this money from me. I didn't know it. I am shocked. I am shocked. Like, all right. Okay. I mean, look, I want to see Ohtani play baseball.
Yes.
I do not want to see him suspended.
Correct.
And I also don't, there's just not enough out there for me to believe that he is this undercover, just wild gambler that was $4.5 million in debt.
Insane. Yeah. There was just so many different elements to the story, but from, I'm just gonna believe Shohei and everything that's gone on, and that he's never gambled on baseball and he just doesn't gamble at all. Sure, fine, whatever.
Right.
It's selfish of me. I just want Shohei to keep on playing baseball. So if his former interpreter has to be the fall guy, even if Ohtani was this gambler, so be it. I don't care, as long as he wasn't throwing baseball games. That's the biggest thing.
Innocent until proven guilty. And in the court of public opinion right now, I think everyone's opinion is they just rather watch some baseball with Shohei Ohtani out there.
I want to see Ohtani hit some yackers.
Hell yeah. Ooh, yackers. We'll touch on that in a bit. But I don't know. I wouldn't care if I never heard about this story again.
Yeah, same. That doesn't him gambling on other things doesn't bother me. Even if he was
$4.5 million in debt and paid it off because he's got the money.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool, man. One of us.
Yeah, for real. The illegal bookie thing, just like, all right, man. Yeah, maybe cut that out. I don't know. But if you're gonna be betting that much, you pretty much need an illegal bookie.
Yeah.
I don't think you're putting 4.5 mil on DraftKings. But I think we're moving along here. They're gonna have a months-long investigation. We'll see what happens, and
I don't think baseball's gonna bring anything about it.
Screwed.
Oh yeah, Ippei's done.
Interesting to see like where he eventually pops up though, like years from now. Is he going to be
this book deal down the road of how he was the fall guy or something?
Right. Is he going to be like this douche who is like revealing all this stuff, or is he going to
He sounds
keep
so
it close to the
douchey,
vest?
the stories that have been coming out. Like, so he never attended the college he said he went to. He was
UC
never
Riverside.
hired by UC Riverside. Never went there. Never worked for the Red Sox. Like, how did he like finagle his way to be Ohtani, the most important baseball player we have? How did he become his interpreter?
And I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Just lied his way through this.
Like the Angels were like, wait, we can get Ohtani? Yeah. Who's your interpreter? Yeah, whatever. Sign him now.
Yeah, whatever. Classic Angels.
It could have been anyone.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Angels did have an underground gambling ring with everything that they've
With
done.
The shit that has gone on there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. And then again, Mike Trout is just sitting there. What is going on with Mike Trout?
God, dude.
Why are you there, dude? Just lost in Disneyland. So
yeah, that's the Ohtani news. Whatever.
That's the recap for you guys. If you didn't hear about it at all over the last week and a half, if you were living under a rock and you only tune into Card Attendant Confessions to get your
baseball news.
Thanks.
Up to the week baseball news.
Appreciate it, champ.
Oh my God. Before we dive into predictions and we go over last year's basically what we did last week with the National League, we're going to do this week with the American League and choose our World Series champions. I do want to talk about the A's and the parking lot boycott tomorrow and everything before we dive into that.
Oh yeah, we need to face facts.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wish I could be there. I don't know. Are you going to be able to attend at all, or?
Yeah, I'm planning on going. Kind of crept up on me here.
It really did.
Like, yeah, for some reason I was thinking, okay, April's still like a week away, but no, March 28th, Thursday. You know, and it's not a day game. Opening day coliseums are usually at night, but you know, around the league, they're usually playing during the daytime. So yeah, I'm gonna make it there. One thing that is unfortunate is it's a dual event. So there's a concert going on at the Oakland Arena. So that's gonna kind of screw with parking and getting in. And then 2, the A's have pushed back the time to enter the parking lot to 5 p.m. So the game's at 7:07. You can only enter at 5. In what world would the opening day gates, not parking gates, not open until 5?
Right. So the parking gates are only being open 2 hours before the event. In years past, and almost every year past, on opening day, the parking lot gates open up a minimum of 4 hours before game time.
Dude, opening day, you want to be out there grilling, getting drunk with your best friends and shooting the hacky sack.
If you're the A's, you want everybody to get into the stadium like in a timely fashion. But if you're like road blocking the entrances, like it's only going to be later and later before they could get into the actual game.
It's probably going to be a clusterfuck. And if you remember when the boycott game last year occurred,
yes,
the A's did a similar thing. They pushed back the entry time, and parking was screwed, and people were scrambling to get in. Not everybody was in. I don't think everybody was in when they did the sell the team chant. What was it, 4th or 5th inning?
Yeah, I was reading that it took them hours to just get into the parking lot.
So the Oakland screw job continues, thanks to John Fisher and company. And the resistance of Oakland A's fans also continues to fight back. So yeah, I plan on making it out there, and maybe next week I can report.
Are you going to go to the actual game, or are you just going to the parking lot boycott?
No, I will not be going into the game and crossing the picket lines.
Very nice.
I do not plan on watching the actual game. I think I'm going to get a pretty good kick out of there. I hope there's an overhead shot. There has to be. I mean, everybody's got drones now. So I'm looking forward to seeing how many people are going to be out in the parking lot on the overhead shot and how many people are in the actual gate. Wouldn't it be sick if like the parking lot's just packed and the game's
nobody in there, 4,000 people inside.
Yeah, it's just all Cleveland fans.
Oh, Cleveland, Stephen Vogt.
Yeah, welcome back, Stephen Vogt.
I still believe.
Yeah, I do. So, yeah, glad that baseball will be back, and I hope to report on the sights and sounds of the opening day boycott next week. So,
yes, please report back your findings.
It was a hell of a party last year at the reverse boycott game when they're handing out Cell shirts. So yeah, I'll wear my Cell shirt tomorrow. Probably should have worn it today. I'll wear my Cell shirt, get out there, see what else they're doing, and yeah, basically it's just a tailgate. You're only going to the tailgate, and then you go home.
All right.
I mean, hopefully someone has a TV. I kind of like to watch the game on the TV. We're not boycotting the telecast, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd like for the players to still do well, and no, I'm not putting money in John Fisher's pockets, though.
No, as you shouldn't.
Yeah. So, last week, I know we're going to get into predictions, but we already had some predictions that have now had their results, if you remember, in our first iteration of Yackers
Yackers.
The Korea series went down, and boy, was it a rough one in Game 2 for Yamamoto.
oh,
not a great debut.
That was tough. I think he's going to be fine throughout the year. I think it might have just been the first game jitters or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
I think he'll calm down. I think he'll still have a very successful season.
It is a long season, but one thing that did happen in that game, lucky for you, was a home run by Mookie Betts. Your pick. in Yackers Yackers. And mine, Hassan Kim, went 0 for 7 over those 2 days. So a nice welcome back to Korea for Hassan Kim.
Oof.
So it looks like you won week 1 of Yackers Yackers. I don't know that we have a prize for this yet, or have even determined what the kind of
like rules and stipulations yet. Yeah. We're just guessing a player once a week to hit a home run.
That is rule number 1, I think. Well, rule number 2 is that you can't pick the same player twice.
We did decide that rule after we picked our first players. I would like to put Mookie and Ha-Sung back into the pool if we can.
Okay.
I wouldn't have. Come on.
How many weeks are there of the season? There's probably like 26. I think it's around 26.
Yeah, sure.
You could pick 25 other guys to hit a home run.
Fine.
if you really need them back in there.
No, it's okay.
You're 1 for 1. Take it.
That is true. Sorry.
You can pick the rest of the Atlanta Braves for the next 9 weeks if you want.
That is true. That is true. So
maybe
with that being said,
we should invent
I'm
more rules like that, though. You can't pick the same team back-to-back weeks or something.
I have my pick for Yackers Yackers. Do you have yours?
I do have mine.
The opening week.
Yes, for opening week. So this will go from opening day through, I guess, Monday night or Sunday night.
Let's do Sunday night since we're probably going to be recording on Mondays.
All right, sounds good. Yes, so I'll kick it off with mine. I need to get back on the board, and I'm going to go with the guy I drafted in the first round of my fantasy draft, Matt Olson.
Great pick. I thought about taking Oli as well.
Actually, you should have picked first because I think I picked first last week.
Right, and I actually got it right, but that's fine. I wasn't going to choose Matt Olson, so
Okay,
Matty-O's all yours this week.
Nice.
My pick for Yackers Yackers this week, give me the center fielder for the Miami Marlins, Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Huh.
He's been in the news recently, being like the new team leader of these Miami Marlins, calling out former players and veterans. I think
I saw that.
He's going to come out with the season on fire, and he's going to give me a yacker in the opening weekend.
This is a prove-it year for Jazz Chisholm. I think we talked about it a little last week. I'd really like to see him bust out this year and stay healthy.
Yes.
Yeah. Bust out. Stay healthy, dude. But yeah, please. I mean, I want him to do well. And
we're big jazzy guys here.
Big jazzy guys. He's a big MLB The Show guy. He was on the cover last year. So, yeah. Was there anything else to that? Or did you look at, what kind of pitching he's facing? Or are you just
I literally just thought of players 30 seconds ago. I thought of it.
Sick. I like it. I like it a lot. So, hold on. Rewind. If you pick Jazzy, then I'm not allowed to pick Jazzy for the rest of the year.
And so that means I'm not allowed to pick Matt Olson?
These are retroactive rules, but I think that's kind of cool.
All right. Yeah,
maybe
going
forward. Right. Yeah, we will. I'm keeping track. But maybe going forward. So the first 4 guys are allowed to be picked by again. But starting next week, when someone takes someone off the board,
chosen,
they're gone.
No more. Yep, I like it.
All right.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, let's fucking go, dude.
Thank you guys for listening in on we decide the rules of a segment.
That's how we're
workshopping here.
And the prize, we'll figure that out. Tune in next week to find out the prize of Yackers Yackers.
I like it.
Okay, now that we got that off the
let's get into some predictions, Rick.
Yeah, because there's a lot to talk about in the junior circuit.
Starting off with our 2023 division winners, last year's predictions. I went 1 for 3 with my division winners. I had Houston winning the AL West, which was correct. I had Cleveland winning the AL Central, which completely missed the playoffs.
Yeah. It's funny how that happened.
And I had I had Tampa Bay winning the AL East, which they were a hot team for most of the year, but they did limp into like a wild card, so that's like half credit.
Yeah, it's almost as if something happened in this during the season that kind of derailed them.
Ooh. Rick, you also went 1 for 3 in your division picks. You chose Houston. You also chose Cleveland. And you and you chose the New York Yankees, who did not make the playoffs.
I don't even remember taking the Yankees. I don't know what was going on there. But
Yeah.
if you would have asked me before revealing that, I would have thought I took the Rays last year. But interesting.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not mad at that.
No, 1 for 3, it's not bad.
What I am mad about is who I picked to win the pennant. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I picked Terry Francona to run the table.
That you did.
And take the Cleveland Guardians to the World Series.
And if you do recall, last week, Rick had the San Diego Padres going to face these Cleveland Guardians in the World Series.
So my
neither made the playoffs.
All right, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. So last year's wild card teams, I went 1 for 3 with my wild card. I had Yankees making it, they did not. I had the Toronto Blue Jays making it, they did. And I had the Angels. Ooh. You actually, 2 playoff teams here. Baltimore was your wild card pick, ended up winning the division. Good call.
Mm-hmm.
And you also chose Seattle to make the playoffs, which they did. You also chose the Angels to make the wild card. When you have the 2 best players in baseball, you kind of hope they would make the playoffs with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani.
Well, unfortunately, you can never trust the Angels. They are even worse than the San Diego Padres in terms of trusting. You can't trust them. And boy, did I fall for it last year. And it's funny because I've had this running thing on Twitter where I just retweet myself every year talking about how bad the Angels are and how Mike Trout is yet again not playing in a postseason. And for me to then pick them to make the playoffs, I went back on my
year.
Went back on my gut there, but yeah, why didn't I pick the Orioles to win the East? That was just bonehead of me. I was so big on the Orioles last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was Orioles all the way, and I can't believe I didn't pick them to win the East.
Well, you have a chance to fix that this year. So
tonight,
how about you give me your 2024 division winners?
2024 division winners, Paul. We have who we just talked about, the Baltimore Orioles winning the American League East.
Mm-hmm.
Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Anthony Santander, and company. Then out in the Central, this is a fun one.
I'm really interested in who you have for the Central, because this one is kind of feels like a crapshoot to me.
It's a toss-up. Anyone can win. But if you ask anybody, everybody's picking the Minnesota Twins.
Mm-hmm.
They won it last year.
They did. Couldn't tell you what happened.
Don't even remember that.
Yep.
Did Byron Buxton play? Like, he's always hurt. I think he did. Didn't he make it through last year?
No, I don't think so. I don't recall. But there was a breakout star there. It was Royce Lewis, the former number 1 overall pick. He had a great postseason.
Beasting when he was called up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to what Royce Lewis does. But my AL Central winner is a team I've been following for a few years now.
I think we have the same pick.
Detroit Tigers.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
They are going to do it. They are going to bring Detroit back into the winning ways. They're going to take after the Detroit Lions, and they're going to do it for the Hawk. And they are going to win the AL Central this year. Did you know, Paul, that with a month to go last year in the 2023 season, the AL Central had the worst combined winning percentage of any division in MLB history.
That division's so bad.
And
And there's more.
the record was set in 2018 by this division. The worst record of a division of all time. So it's a toss-up. It's there for the taking, and I just love all that young talent on that Tigers team. So more about them later from me. But I'll skip right over to the West here. And the defending world champion Texas Rangers, I just don't see how they don't win that division. I don't think the Astros are getting better, so I'm going with the Rangers.
I like it. I like it a lot. We have two of the three picks. I also have chosen Baltimore to repeat as AL East champs. That team is just so stacked, and they have even more talent just ready and waiting in the minors to once the Orioles front office is done manipulating the time to get extra years of service out of these people. Names like Arias and Jorge Mateo will not be getting meaningful at bats in that infield anymore when you have Jackson Holiday and all these other players just ready to go off.
And are they just going to sit on all these prospects, or are they going to flip them for like some shit?
Right.
Like
they can.
They could get a lot.
The way they got Corbin Burns for two prospects that were so blocked at all their positions was what a beautiful trade that was.
Yeah. And
we didn't even mention Corbin Burns joining that rotation in Baltimore. So that
Grayson,
he will never give up a home run to left field.
Nope, not over Baltimore.
Also,
I love that pick.
Also with you, I thought this would be the fun pick in the AL Central. Give me the Detroit Tigers to win the AL Central. I don't like the Twins. I
don't know why.
Who else is even in that division? White Sox are trash.
I almost went Cleveland.
I just don't see it.
I don't like their rotation. Or no, I think that is what the kicker was. Like, I think you got Savali there, but you got McKenzie, but
Bieber hasn't been really Bieber since. But
Bieber.
But when you talk about pitching rotations, you think of Detroit, and you have potential Cy Young winner in Tarek Skubal, and Casey Mize, another former number 1 overall pick. He's finally back from injury. You watch out for these Detroit Tigers. They have a lot of young bats, and
they're nice.
They're nice.
Guys, I mean, nowadays, these young guys get up there and start ripping it. Like, look at what Gunnar Henderson did last year. Look at what Riley Green was doing for Detroit last year before he got hurt.
Stay healthy. Yep.
Dude, he was killing it. So
they have a top prospect that's going to play most of the year, which I'll talk about that later for something else.
So will I. I don't know if it's the same guy though, but
it might.
Yeah, let's talk.
So we'll table that for now. And my AL West, apparently I just don't like the two teams that were in the World Series last year because I left Arizona just completely out of the playoffs with my NL predictions. I have Houston winning the AL West again. Even though they're not getting better, it's still Houston. They've made it to 7 consecutive AL championship series.
That's crazy.
And so I just
kind of like the Dodgers in the National League. Like,
you can't pick them. Yeah, until somebody else dethrones them, you gotta pick them.
Yeah.
So that was my thought process behind that. Those are my 3 division winners: Baltimore, Detroit, and Houston.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see you picking Detroit there, and I didn't see you not taking Texas there. So I like the I like the picks.
My wild cards. I do have Texas making a wild card. I'm not keeping them out of the playoffs. There's just too much there for me to not keep them in. Like, DeGrom's coming back halfway through the year, and if you could get a Jacob DeGrom type to join that rotation at the back end of the year, it could be filthy.
John Gray
will hold it down for them.
Couple
That
guys
Texas team is
returning.
loaded.
They still have Nathan Eovaldi, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're loaded. We haven't even talked about the lineup.
And a couple of really fun young players with that team as well.
Yep.
Give me a team that you could just never count out for making the playoffs lately is the Tampa Bay Rays. Kevin Cash and whatever the Tampa Bay team, I don't know how they do it. How do the Rays just do it?
I would have to do a little bit of research, but off the cuff, I want to say that they're really good in international scouting. Like
I think just scouting in general, and
every single year they've got guys coming up, whether they traded for them or whatever, who I've never heard of before, and
turned to stars.
They're studs. They're hitting 300 and driving in 80 runs.
They had some weird thing happen last year. They had like 4 or 5 of their starting pitchers need Tommy John throughout the year, plus the whole Wander Franco situation. But like all those Tommy Johns, they just next man up, and
Dude,
they still.
How do they always have? Yeah, the bullpen always has a stud new guy also.
And it's always they trade better than any other team. So like their inter-team scouting is just fantastic. If the Rays ever ask you about one of your players, you gotta take a second look at them, because the Rays just don't miss in these trades.
Right.
They got Arozarena from St. Louis for next to nothing. They got, even though they just got rid of Glasnow, they got Glasnow for nothing from Pittsburgh. They just do these trades, and yeah, if the Rays want one of your players, you might want to reconsider. The last wildcard team I have, give me the 27 rings of the New York Yankees making the wild card.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're crazy, man. The Yankees
that lineup
are going
is just so nice.
To the postseason.
They're going back to the postseason. The lineup is just nice. The addition of Juan Soto to that team with that joke of a stadium in right field can mean trouble.
I want to see some Soto bombs.
So yeah, those are my wild cards: Texas, Tampa, and the Bronx Bombers.
Nice. I went a similar route. I got the Astros in there making a wild card, not counting them out. They still got Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve and Kyle Tucker, and those guys always seem to find a way. I am going with the Tampa Bay Rays as well to make a wild card. The biggest reason for me this year was just guys like Isaac Paredes and Yandy Diaz how are they that good?
Yandy could win a batting title this year. I would not be surprised if Yandy wins a batting title this year.
Yeah, for real. Like Randy Arozarena. They've got some boys on that team, and I think they just get forgotten about because of the stadium, and I mean it's easy to get drowned out in the East by the Red Sox and the Yankees. So, but yeah, you're right. They always have pitching. But with my third wildcard spot, I went with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay.
I'm going 3 American League East teams in the post. And I left out the Yankees. So I'm going Blue Jays. Vladdy Jr. Lots of eyes on him. We've the Blue Jays have departed with a couple of good players over the years, so it's time to step up. Mainly Bichette and Vladdy. And I think the pitching raises back up to where they should be. I don't know if Manoah, not really thinking about Manoah. I think like guys like Chris Bassett are going to have a really, really good year.
I like it. Oh, I love the Bassett Hound. Bassett Hound is...
Do I miss the Bassett Hound out here in Oakland. He
was definitely a fan favorite. Rick, who is winning the American League pennant?
They are going to do it for Charm City.
Yes.
And they are going to party on Utah Street all night. The Baltimore Orioles are going to the World Series.
Wow. Wow.
Give me Gunnar Henderson and Adley
Mhm.
Rutschman. Give me
Mhm.
Jackson Holiday after a month in AAA. However long it takes
2
to
weeks. It's
manipulate
like
the
2
service.
weeks. 2 weeks he could come on up.
I thought we fixed that in the latest CBA.
Apparently not.
Why? Why is that even a thing? You only have to be in AAA for 2 weeks, and then that guy gets an extra year
Right.
of basically arbitration. Like you get to
And
prolong his
also,
before he hits free agency.
Why? You're most likely going to trade him before he gets that contract anyways. Your window is open now. Put the best team on the field now. Are you telling me Jackson Holiday is not the best option you have and you're going to go with, is it Luis Arias? Is that the other infielder?
No, it is Tony Kemp.
Well, that's right. They gave Tony Kemp a major league contract, which is wild. But I'm
They've
saying
had-
like they have Jorge Mateo up there on the bigs. They
They
have
no longer have Adam
Luis Arias in the
Frazier.
bigs.
Taron Vavra, I think he's on the 40 man, but I don't know if he's making the opening day roster.
Right.
Yes, Ramon Arias.
Arias, not Luis. Thank you.
He won a Gold Glove 2 years ago, so maybe they're still going with him. Maybe it's like, hey, let's play this guy. Yeah. Maybe it's like, let's play this guy till he gets hurt, and then we'll, I know that's horrible to say, but it's a long season, and that's probably how these guys think. Like, let's take our hits early in the year with this guy because we know we're going to win games anyway, and we'll save Jackson for the long run.
You know what, Rick? You couldn't be more right. Give another one to Charm City. I'm putting Baltimore winning the American League pennant this year.
Boom, boom,
Boom,
boom,
boom.
Anthony
Corbin Burns,
Santander,
John Means, Craig Kimbrell, Yennier Cano. The team.
I forgot about that.
People forget about Ryan Mountcastle. The guy's no slouch.
Dude, he was the rookie of the year, I think, like 3 or 4 years ago. Or he wasn't rookie of the year. He finished in like the top 5 or 6 or something. But yeah.
Seti Moles we haven't even mentioned.
Jesus. Yeah.
That
Seti
team
Moles.
is
Colton
loaded.
Cowser is going to have a full year. Who
Jordan
didn't have a full year.
Westberg.
Jordan Westberg, who he was better, I think, in the bigs last year than Cowser was. So these guys are going to get full years, hopefully.
This team is stacked, and it is ready to win now.
Fun ass team to watch.
Kind of reminds me now, looking back, like hindsight of last year's Rangers team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah. Give me the Baltimore.
I like
Orioles
teams that make a second half run, or all their young players just start to evolve in the second half, and even if it doesn't work out that year, like they set themselves up for a big year the following season.
Exactly.
I mean, that was kind of Baltimore 2 years ago, really.
Yes.
You had the emergence of Felix Bautista, and then an Adley Rutschman, and then last year you had the emergence of Yennier Cano out of that pen.
Mm-hmm.
A big Yennier Cano guy.
Yes.
And yeah, guys in the rotation too. Kyle Bradish came out of nowhere last year. I don't know if he's going to do. Yeah, seriously.
Sheesh.
And their number 5 starter, Cole Irvin.
Ooh, the Cole train.
Yeah. I hope Cole has a good year.
Mm-hmm. So before we get into World Series stuff, let's talk about American League Award winners. And let's start off with our stuff from last year.
See what happened was
between MVP, Cy Young, and AL Rookie of the Year, I went 1 for 3. I took basically the odds-on favorite. I had Shohei Ohtani winning MVP, which again he did.
Very nice.
I also thought he was going to win the American League Cy Young. He did not.
That would have been cool if he would have hit on that.
That would have been real cool. And then my AL Rookie of the Year had a fantastic season. Was Tristan Casas of the Boston Red Sox.
Nice.
You also went 1 for 3. You correctly guessed AL Rookie of the Year Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles. Mm-hmm. Your Cy Young pick was also Ohtani. I'll let you talk about your American League MVP award.
So That was based off of, I think he was the World Series MVP the year prior.
Mhm.
So I thought it was sort of a, hey, he just had his coming out moment. He is due for a monster year. He's here now. I took Jeremy Pena from the Houston Astros, and he regressed.
Bad.
Yeah. Seen a lot of good things about Pena this spring. He's switched up his swing, more of a line drive sort of contact swing now.
Mhm.
And his stance is a little different. So I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. But yeah, that pick, that hurt. He did not win the MVP.
No, he did not.
Yeah.
Let's get into
Who'd you have?
2024 here. For
Oh
what do
wait,
mean?
you already gave yours. Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
Otani
get into the 2024
Casas.
awards. Okay, so both 1 for 3.
My AL MVP, I brought him up for a quick second earlier. Give me the New York Yankees right fielder Juan Soto for American League MVP. He is going to, I'm going to give a stamp of guarantee he hits 40 home runs this year. 40 plus bombs for Juan Soto this year. Hitting close to 300. He walks more than anybody. He's going to have an OPS of over 1,000.
Close to 300.
I know.
The Bronx is going to be jumping this year.
Yeah. I hate the Yankees.
Those guys, Deuce and Marrow, they're going to be real happy.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Bunny's going to have to make some stops in the Bronx and film another music video if Juan Soto's hitting 40 tanks.
40 tanks in the short porch.
Let's go. I'm down to see it. That's good for baseball. I really like Juan Soto.
I really like Juan Soto too. I hate when players that I really like go to teams I can't stand, like the Yankees, but I'll be still rooting for Juan Soto.
Yeah. Man,
what about your AL
him
MVP?
And Judge back to back.
Him and Judge in the same lineup. Back to back, dude. It's going to be so gross.
Oh, man. It is. Is it on me now, or are you going through?
Yeah, we'll just go each award. So what's your AL MVP?
As much as I wanted to go with Gun,
because he is fun.
I didn't want to do that again. Go with another infielder who
had a really good
rookie
campaign.
Yeah, great rookie campaign, good second half. But in the research, Gun was batting about 188 at the end of May, and he flipped that to eventually hit, I forget what he hit, like 260, 280, and then like 80 RBIs and like 28, 26 bombs. So hell of a year for Gunnar Henderson. Really think it's all there for him, man. That lineup and that pitching staff is there for him. But there's another lineup that I think is going to benefit another guy so much more than anybody else, and I'm going with Corey Seager in Texas.
Oh, I like it. That's a good pick.
There's so many table setters in that lineup. The only thing, though, I think they're going to hit him second. So I looked at Simeon, too, but Simeon's going to lead off. I don't know if he can win the MVP as the leadoff hitter. That would go against what Acuna did. Acuna won the MVP as a leadoff hitter.
That is true.
Simeon doesn't steal bases like that. So, anyways, Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim, you got you got the young stud out there, Evan Carter,
and another player, Wyatt Langford, who just made the opening day club.
Did he? I didn't see that. I knew that
there's
he
a good
could
video.
possibly.
Bruce Bochy called him in and said, we're excited to have you be in the major league club to start the year.
It's wild. He was the number 4 pick, and I thought, last year, fuck did the Rangers get the number 4 pick in the same year they won the World Series?
That's so
they were
dangerous.
That bad the year before.
What a turnaround!
And that was after they signed Seager and Simeon, right?
Yeah.
And they were that bad. So, we mentioned the Texas pitching earlier in this episode, and I mean, they've got all the confidence in the world now. You got Adolis Garcia coming back. He kind of had a coming out moment last year. He was a wrecking ball.
Yeah, he
until
was.
he got hurt in the World Series, and they still ended up winning it. So I just think that there's so much around Corey Seager that he's just going to have ducks on the pond all the time.
I like it. I like
give me
that
Corey
pick a
Seager
lot.
to win the MVP.
My American League Cy Young, now that I see this team, I'm kind of upset that I didn't put them into the wild card at least. My American League Cy Young comes from the Seattle Mariners, and give me Luis Castillo to win the American League Cy Young.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah,
I used to be really
can't,
big on Luis Castillo.
I really want to take the Yankees out and put the Mariners in, but I won't. My picks they're locked. They're final.
Don't like what the Mariners have been talking about lately.
That Mariners rotation might be the best rotation in baseball with Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert. Oh, geez, I don't.
Kirby, who just missed a Rookie of the Year recently.
Yeah, that. They have another Miller as well on that rotation.
Yeah.
Bryce Miller.
Got some young guns.
Yeah.
They basically have a big three of like young guys, and then you got some stud vets.
Yeah, that Mariners team is going to be fun, and I think Luis Castillo, who's had some all-star appearances in the past, but he's going to put it all together up in Seattle. Give me like a vintage Felix Hernandez type season for Luis Castillo, and he wins the American League Cy Young.
That would be pretty sick. He's kind of due for it. Like he has put together first halves of seasons where he's elite. And then I think like post-trade deadline, his numbers kind of taper off. But yeah, I would like to see him put it together like that.
Absolutely.
I am going sort of with a theme, like from my division winners playing into my awards.
I have a feeling I know who you're going to pick.
Corbin Burns is going to win the Cy Young.
I like it. I like it.
Second Cy Young. And so you mentioned Baltimore earlier. I think that park is going to be so nice for Corbin Burns.
Yes.
And he's got the lineup to win him games. And I think he's only 29. 29 or 30. So it's right there for the taking. He hasn't slacked off since his days with the Brewers. So give me Corbin Burns in his first year as an Oriole to win the Cy Young.
I like it. I like it a lot. American League Rookie of the Year, I've been torn. I've written down names and crossed off names. And so like I thought about Evan Carter of the Rangers. I thought about Wyatt Langford of the Rangers. I think both those guys are going to get the opportunity, and they're surrounded by a lot of good bats that they could get the pitches. And so I wanted to go with either of those two, and I wrote down Wyatt Langford twice and crossed it out twice. So I have a feeling he's probably going to win. But give me my American League Central winner, Detroit Tigers, and give me infielder Colt Keith to win the American League Rookie of the Year.
That's a hot one. I like it. I like it.
It's when it comes to Rookie of the Year, and like you have to mention Jackson Holiday, but those 2 weeks could be the difference maker of him spending 2 weeks down in the minors. Could be the difference of winning and losing Rookie of the Year, just not getting the amount of at bats. Colt Keith is going to be an everyday player for the Detroit Tigers, and he's made the opening day club. So that's why I'm going with Colt Keith.
I like it. He's probably their top prospect.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really excited to see that Tigers team. What happens with this Tigers team with all these young guys in there? Spencer Torkelson has still really not shown what he can do. Like everything he
started to show it at the end of last year. He went on a little home run tear the last month or two of the season. Ended up with I think 30 bombs somehow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of nowhere, because he just couldn't hit his first few years in the bigs, and even the beginning of last year he was struggling. And so he really started to put it together at the end of last year. We talked about Riley Green, Skubal, Casey Mize in that rotation. Mark Canna joins that club, a little veteran presence. I like it.
I do like it. I am sort of on the same thinking as you for a number of reasons. One is I factored in ballparks, and it sort of goes back to the Cy Young with Burns, and defense. I really like the defense behind Corbin Burns. But for Rookie of the Year, I thought about where are these guys, what lineups are these guys in, and how often are they going to play? So I had Evan Carter written down. I had Wyatt Langford written down. But I just don't think that they're going to be the guys driving in the runs for Texas. And they might not play every single day just because there's so many bats over there that they could, platoon them, save them a little bit. I just don't know. For some reason, I got scared off of Texas.
Go on.
And there's Jackson Holiday. Yes, there's Jackson Holiday. I don't think 2 weeks would ruin his chances because, like I said earlier, Gunnar was batting 188 at the end of May last year.
Very true.
So you could shit the bed the first 2 months and still win the Rookie of the Year. I don't know if Jackson's going to have that kind of power at the big league level right away. And I don't know enough about his glove to know what's going to go on there.
Is he still a teenager? Is he even 20 yet?
I think he's 20. So, but you've got some really good infielders over there in Baltimore on the left side of the field. So I think he plays second base. I don't know. Anyways, I kind of shied away from Jackson, and I thought that was for sure who I was going to pick. And then I looked at Detroit, and
go on.
I said, yeah, that guy Colt Keith is a stud. But that's not who I went with.
What?
I'm going with a guy who's going to play center field out there at Comerica Park every day and has big power. He has Gold Glove defense. I'm going with Parker Meadows.
Oh, is he still a rookie?
He's still a rookie.
Oh,
mashing the ball this spring. And I know you're not supposed to buy into spring training stats, but I'm buying in. Parker Meadows is a stud in the outfield. So if you factor in defense like they did last year with Gunnar too, I mean, he killed it at the plate. But he could win a Gold Glove, possibly. And he's got really great speed out there. Comerica Park, they're going to need him out there. And I think they're going to play these guys every day. So Colt Keith for sure is probably the better pick. But I'm going to go. I'm going to get cute. And I'm going to go Parker Meadows and think that he busts out like 20 plus Yackers and somehow the RBIs get up there and he wins the Rookie of the Year.
I really like that we didn't.
Tough part to hit home runs, but I'm going to go with it.
I like that we didn't choose the odds-on favorite there because it would have been easy to take a Holiday or a Wyatt Langford or an Evan Carter. I like those picks a lot.
Yeah.
So
big Detroit Tigers guys this year are we?
They're a fun team, young fun team.
How sick would it be for the Tigers and the Orioles to meet in the ALCS?
All right, calm down.
Yeah, and the A's are going to win the West. Yeah.
Glad we're not naive like that.
Yeah.
Who is going to win the World Series? If you remember last week, we both chose the Atlanta Braves to win the National League pennant, and now we've both chosen the Baltimore Orioles to win the American League pennant.
Wow.
I have a feeling I know where you're going. Should we just say it on three?
Yeah, let's say it on three.
One, two, three.
The Orioles.
The Baltimore Orioles are winning the World Series.
There's one for Charm City.
It's finally going to happen again. The Baltimore Orioles are taking home the World Series trophy this year.
Which I believe would be the first time in 40 years, I think.
Yeah.
My math is correct. 41 years.
I believe so.
I probably should be going with the Braves.
Honestly,
everything I said last week, I should be going with the Braves. But how sick
we are
would
going
it be
with our
for it
hearts
to be the
with this
Orioles?
one and not our brains.
Right. Oh, and if you're listening out there, card attendees and card attendites,
Confessionites.
you'll notice that we sway from hearts to realism and back and forth every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go through those predictions, you would have seen it right then and there. So yeah, realism, Braves are coming out of the National League. Hearts, Orioles are winning the World Series.
I love it. I love it. I want to see it. I hope we're speaking into existence.
New ownership out there in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. R.I.P. to the previous owner who just passed this past week.
R.I.P. The biggest addition that we did not talk about in Baltimore is the Coors Light center field porch that they installed. Now that is a difference maker. You got the silver bullet deck in center.
Do they bring in the wall, or is it just a new amenity?
No, it's like behind the bullpen. It's it's like a bar.
Okay. Okay.
We should fan experience, Paul. They need a place to launch out the super soakers for the bird baths that they're doing out there.
I would love to see a game at Camden. That would, that's definitely a bucket list stadium for sure.
And it's unfortunate. We were supposed to go to Coors Field in Colorado a couple years ago.
I got COVID.
COVID wrecked us, and we had to cancel. But I think Coors Field and Camden Yards are the top two on my bucket list right now. And I still haven't been to Fenway, Wrigley, or Yankee, but
PNC is still on my bucket list for sure.
Oh, yeah. I got to throw that up there too.
Well, wow. So that's the season, folks. The Orioles are going to win the World Series. Juan Soto's going to win MVP.
No. Corey Seager is going to take it. Man, that would be a real. So last year in the playoffs, Texas pretty much dominated that ALDS against Baltimore. Just really shut them up. Really shut Birdland up there. But it would be cool to see them meet again in the ALCS. That would really pique my interest. And then maybe in the National League, if we could see Dodgers Braves in the NLCS.
Oh, please give that. Yeah. Yes, please.
If we could see Ohtani, or he's not pitching this year, but
no.
Yeah, Ohtani versus Acuna in the National League Championship Series, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Do you have any final confessions, Rick?
Well, one confession is that we are sorry that we missed our regularly scheduled programming date.
We're sorry.
And we will strive to do better. We're not perfect.
No.
And, I consider myself a man of faith. And so I might not be putting on this headset again. But there's a deep drive into left field, and I think that was another episode of Card Attendant Confessions.
Yes, it was. So long.
Without further ado, I have.
We're working on
no
the sign
further
off
confessions,
still.
Your Honor.
My confession is we'll do better on the sign offs.
Yeah. We're so close to the intro.
We just haven't gotten it yet.
Right, and that's a running theme here. We're just not getting it, but the intro is just right there. We're almost got it. Outro, we're working on it.
We're working on it. But a little gift to you, we're going to do this episode in just under an hour. I've been hearing the complaints about the episodes going too long. just look at that. We're going to be just in under an hour. So you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Those are our confessions.
Another episode of Card Attendant Confessions.
Botch.
Botch.